Readings by Danielson. Reddit NoSleep, The Purge by Danielson.
This morning, when I signed in and saw what was happening on NoSleep's subreddit, I could not have imagined the outcome. It's sheer creeping horror, and the sinister indications of a darker doom yet to come. They're calling it the Purge, 3 days of uninhibited literary debauchery, much like the film series of movies from 2013, 2014, and 2016. I suppose the mods think they're going to stop the trolls, shitposters, hacks, and pornographic content creators by giving them all a day to feast, then cracking down on them like trapped rats. What they don't realize is that they've created an unstoppable evil. The death notices began arriving not long after the Purge began. The first happened yesterday on March 19th at approximately 10 p.m. NoSleep announced on their homepage that user Easy Misery had passed away due to unknown causes, and that he would no longer be submitting stories to the subreddit. NoSleep also released a public statement that evening, expressing profound regret at his loss, and that they planned to celebrate his life and contribution to the creepypasta world by putting his most popular short stories on the homepage in the coming weeks. David Cummings of the NoSleep podcast even tweeted that he would be producing an episode dedicated to Easy Misery stories and would donate the proceeds of the episode to his family. But the one thing NoSleep did not do was stop the Purge. They should have suspended it. It was the right thing to do, the respectful thing, the decent thing, the only thing that could have stopped the disaster from spreading. But they didn't. That midnight, I received another notification from NoSleep. Another user had mysteriously died. BlueXXenia9 had begun posting a series of photos on her Instagram that midnight, uploaded in a sequence. The first was a chilling photograph of a rope made from her father's dress ties. The ominous black and white was followed half an hour later by another, this time showing a perspective shot from the floor beneath, looking towards the ceiling where the ties hung knotted through a metal ring. Then came a third photograph of the room, empty of all furniture but for a lone chair situated beneath the garish ties. The final photograph was of a hangman's noose tied at the end of the ties. BlueXXenia9 was found dead at 2 a.m., her cell phone auto-lock disabled, its screen open to the camera as if in readiness for one more photo. NoSleep did not post direct links to BlueXXenia9's Instagram, only reported her death. Not that they needed to. Everyone went and did the Google search. Shockingly, her Instagram post went undeleted the entire night. People began posting en masse on Twitter about her and her Instagram post. After the chilling hashtag, the Purge tie rope, began to trend, the Instagram suicide photo sequence was taken down and BlueXXenia9's account hidden, presumably by her parents. After the death of the second NoSleep member, I couldn't go to bed. I suppose I was haunted by the notion that something terrible was just beginning. In a strange and, I guess, voyeuristic way, I didn't want to miss any developments. I didn't mean to be one of those internet people, but with such horrible things happening of all places on a scary story site, it was impossible to resist. The NoSleep homepage remained quiet for an hour. Despite the inactivity of both user and mod posts, I noticed that the mods removed the death notices for both deceased users. For another half hour, I puzzled over the meaning of the bizarre and unfeeling action. Only later did I realize that it signaled more was to come. At 3 a.m. on March 20th, a new notification appeared on the NoSleep homepage. I stared for what seemed like an eternity at my screen, unable to click the post for fear that the user might be someone I knew. At last, nagging curiosity got the better of me, and I checked. Sure enough, a third user had died during the night, oddly at about the same time as Blue X Xenia 9. The deaths apparently had occurred close enough to each other that NoSleep mods missed the one. When I saw the name of the third victim, I drew back in shock, angry tears streaming down my face. User Pippinacious had passed away in her sleep. Memories flooded back of the kind girl who had given me permission to read her popular scary stories. Many of my subscribers dearly loved my narration of Auntie Belle's and were eagerly awaiting the next time I read her stories. In fact, I had been preparing to read another of hers and had a partially drafted email waiting to be sent to her concerning her newest creepypasta. Now, it was a message she would never receive. When my mind cleared enough after the initial shock and grief, I shut my laptop down and retreated to my bedroom in horror. The realization washed over me. Everything those bot posts said concerning bad comments and reported stories was just a lie, a diversion from the real terror that was happening. The Purge wasn't about site maintenance. It was about getting rid of us. It was the system, the supernatural scythe cleaning house, clearing us away forever. The sheer goddamn irony of it all. In the past 5 hours, 3 were dead. There were basically 2 more days to go, and there was no telling how many more would die, or if those deaths would rise in frequency. The thought of user deaths possibly happening every minute left me numb. Though the inquisitive urge to check up on the terrible developments happening gnawed at my mind, I resisted the desire to turn my computer back on. I knew what I would find would be no more terrible than what I already knew and had read, only more frequent and more distressing. It's 4:30 a.m. now. I have no way of knowing how many more users have perished. At least, no way I dare to check. But I am certain with that cold subconscious awareness that many, many more are dead. More great authors, more good people, more friends. The question now that engulfs my mind is whether I am next, and when my time will come in the remaining 2 days.